I know of someone who sold their home to attend a friend's wedding abroad. 10 years later, they have not climbed the property ladder. That's a comment I got from Reddit for those individuals who are familiar with the website or the platform. And here I tried to research what are some of the worst financial decisions individuals have ever made. And that was one of the comments which I got. You may think, yeah, it's fake, maybe it's individuals having fun, but in reality, there are a lot of financial decisions which are worse compared to that one. So today I thought I should go through 6 worst financial decisions you can make, especially in your 20s. So if you are interested in this kind of videos, remember to subscribe. I request you to subscribe, like, and don't forget to share. By you just engaging with this video, you allow the algorithm to recommend to other individuals. We need to build a community. Now, what are some of the worst financial decisions which you can make, especially if you are a young person? Number 1 is buying a car. Most individuals tend to have fun and they get interested to buy the latest model of a car. But there are hidden costs which are associated with these cars, more especially if you cannot afford it in cash. Even if you end up affording it in cash, there are other expenses which you need to incur as time goes by. So if you are interested to focus more on your financial freedom, you should always emphasize when you are going to buy out a car. And if you can't afford it and you really need that car, better you can go with a second-hand choice. Because as most individuals tend to buy expensive SUVs, they are associated with a lot of high insurance. Then you have to spend a lot on the fuel. Those things tend to add a lot of costs. At the same time, there is an opportunity cost which you tend to miss. And also, you tend to get to pay a lot if you are going to purchase these cars through air purchase. So if you are interested to own a car, you should always go with the least amount which you can afford. At the same time, you will be in a position to afford running this car for a long period of time, and it will be more reliable. That's why individuals tend to have more reliable models, for example, Toyotas. And if you are interested more to search on this topic, I have read A Millionaire Next Door. And most individuals who are millionaires, they tend to save a lot when it comes to purchasing a car. Another expense or a financial failure which most individuals tend to perform is when buying a house. Most individuals tend to buy a huge house, and in the real sense, they don't need that house. What they tend to forget that they are going to be stuck in paying a mortgage for a long period of time. I was kind of going through a given article where the individuals were discussing the whole issue of paying a house through a mortgage. And one of the initial costs is that the amount, the amount which you are going to pay, the installments per month, the initial installments, actually a huge chunk of it goes through servicing the interest. So if you are going to buy a house, buy a decent house and don't go buying a huge house which you really don't need. At the end of the day, there are a lot of costs which are going to add up. For example, you are going to pay a lot of taxes. At the same time, you need a lot of utilities which are going to run this house. So there's no need of you owning a big house which you are going to resent anyway, because it is forcing you to be stuck in a job which you are not interested, or at the same time there are other opportunities which you are missing, which you could have used the money which you are paying to invest in those opportunities. So you need to be careful when buying your own house. Another thing which you need to take into consideration is overspending. Most individuals tend to think, for example, you buying a coffee. Let me use one of my favorite kind of snacks which I normally buy. So I spend let's say 20 shillings each buying some snacks. Let's say if I am going to buy each and every day, that is around 120 shillings per week if I'm going to buy around what? Around 60 days each and every week. If you multiply that by 50 weeks, you will end up having around 6,000, which has been spent on just buying snacks. At the same time, I'm being pressured by some loans, by some financial decisions which I need to make up. So these small spendings tend to add up over a long period of time if you really don't take into serious consideration the cost of you having small expenses, overspending on things which you are not in, which you should not have in the first place anyway. Overspending can also be used, for example, overspending in you purchasing a car which you don't need, which I've already mentioned. Also overspending in a house. So these small things which most individuals tend to overspend on, those tends to add up over a long period of time. So if you are interested in ensuring that you don't fall into these financial traps, you need to always have a budget in plan. Another thing which most individuals tend to make a mistake is not saving. If you are not saving, then the first thing which you need to understand, there is no resources which you are going to find available for you to invest with. The first thing which you need to ensure that you don't make a mistake on is delaying your saving culture. You can start saving a small amount, especially individuals used to encourage that you should always save around 10% of your income. But as time goes by and most individuals tend to live for a long period of time, you should always raise that amount maybe to even 20, 30 if you are capable of doing that. At the same time, we need to realize that since individuals are living longer, the same thing also applies in terms of the interest. Individuals are not gaining much interest on their investment capital, which means if you are going to save for a long period of time, then you will be in a position to at least ensure that the compounding effect is more effective when it comes to your own investment. So that's one of the most important things which you always need to have in mind. Start a saving culture as early as possible. Otherwise, you will end up missing some opportunities which may come on your way. Another thing which you need to ensure you don't commit as a mistake is you not having an emergency fund. Things tend to happen in life. As they say, shit tends to happen to each and every person. And if you are not prepared, especially when it comes to finance, then you may be caught off guard. If you are in a position to have a 3 to 6 months emergency fund, then you are in a good position to at least be able to attack any emergency which happens to occur on your way. Things tend to happen. Maybe you may end up losing a job, you may end up losing a family member, your car may end up breaking. All of those things, you need to have an emergency fund which is going to caution you during those difficult moments. And most individuals tend to believe maybe these things may not happen to you, but one of the best questions which you need to ask yourself is when will they happen? Because at the end of the day, they must happen to you. So you need to have a 6 to 3 emergency fund which is going to run you 3 to 6 months. And more especially if you are married and both of you are employed, you can have a 3 month emergency fund. But if you are married and one of you is the only person who is employed, then 6 months is a decent one to have in place. So those things you need to make sure you have in place. Another thing which most individuals tend to underrate, but it's one of the crucial and one of the predictors to every person, if you are going to be financially free or you are going to be financially horrible person or a couple in the rest of your life, is if you marry a wrong person. Most individuals tend to underrate the effect of a marriage partner can have when it comes to your financial freedom. But if one of you is going to be a big spender, while at the same time one of you is going to be one of the most crucial person when it comes to savings, then it is going to lead to a negative effect. And if you marry a wrong person, then your finances is not going to be in place. At the same time, this leads to the whole issue of divorce. If you are going to divorce, then you are likely going to lose a chunk of your resources through divorce and through maybe paying lawyers, all those things which are incurred during the divorce situation. So you need to marry a right person, or at the end of the day you are going to regret your experience, and it is going to bring you back to a miserable situation. So when marrying, ensure that the first thing which you need to ensure is you marry the right person, not after you have already get married, but before you get married. Finally, the most crucial thing which you need to make sure that you have in place is you need to ensure you don't use the money which you have invested in your future. Okay, if you have, let's say, a retirement account, don't use that money to service maybe your debt which you're incurring at the moment. You may think that you may think that it is an easy situation, that you are going to return those funds once you are in a stable position, but it is almost easier said than done. So if you want to ensure that you don't make a financial mistake, don't go to your retirement account and take out your resources in order to finance your debts. That will be one of the financial mistakes which you will end up making, and it will cost you a fortune. Now, I'd like your thoughts in the comment sections. What are some of the mistakes, or what are some of the errors which you have observed individuals making, or maybe you as an individual you have already made? Remember, if you're interested in this kind of videos, remember to subscribe, like, and don't forget to share. See you in my next one.